Coming up on Cabarrus this week, Cabco gets wings following a big economic development announcement, and some locals get a shot to meet our governor. Also, take a tour of the abandoned Stonewall Jackson training school and learn about recent activity at the site. That's all right now on Cabarrus This Week. Welcome to Cabarrus This Week. I'm Scott Grossman. Today, we're coming to you from the grounds at Concord. This is the site of the former Philip Morris plant and is now home to Carvana and Golden Home. This week, our community received incredible news. We'll soon have even more new neighbors moving in here. Red Bull and can filling operation ROWK plan to open a new beverage campus that's expected to bring more than 400 jobs to Cabarrus County. The operation plans to have a $740 million investment, which is the largest of its kind in Cabarrus County's history. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper recently joined local officials at the Cabarrus Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship in Downtown Concord to celebrate the big news. Here are some scenes from the event.
So here we go. I am excited to announce that a joint venture between global beverage company Red Bull and filling company ROWK will establish a new state-of-the-art beverage manufacturing, filling, and distribution hub, investing more than $740 million in creating 413 new good-paying jobs right here in Concord, Cabarrus County, North Carolina.
Us in the room remember the expansion announcement in 1991 from Philip Morris that at that time was touted as the largest economic development announcement in the state of North Carolina. None of us would have imagined that today we would be back here talking about that same property being the home to the largest economic development investment in the history of Cabarrus County.
It's been a collective effort throughout our community. With all that we've done, it makes us stronger, it makes us move forward, and we're just excited to be here and working together. Again, our new businesses, welcome. We're glad to have you here, and we're glad you've chosen Concord as your home and look forward to more mutual opportunities in the future.
When we got this RFI for what we called Project Aquamarine almost a year ago, we were in the middle of the pandemic. Our team at the EDC were 3 working moms. We were still at home. Our kids were in class from the dining room table. Everything was virtual. Nothing about this was easy, and we did it.
Economic development officials say the average salary for new jobs is more than $50,000 a year. Welcome to Cabarrus, Red Bull and Rauch. Downtown Concord wasn't the only stop for Governor Cooper. Later in the day, he dropped in on the vaccination clinic at Northwest Cabarrus High School. While there, he got a tour of the facility with Cabarrus Health Alliance CEO Bonnie Coyle and talked to some of the folks getting their shots. Here's more from that event.
And it feels so good to be back in a public school. I've been to a couple of them since we've been coming out of this pandemic. I'm really grateful to be here to celebrate the new businesses that we've all recruited to open here in Cabarrus County, and then come to where we're going to be preparing those workers for those jobs in the future.
As the local public health department, we've worked with both Kannapolis City and Cabarrus County schools for many, many years, but no time has it ever been more critical than right now to be partnering with them. We all share the collective goal of getting our kids to school and ready to learn and keeping them healthy in the process.
Vaccines are our way out of this. There's just no doubt about it. And when you look at the fact that we do have a Delta variant that is beginning to sweep across the country and has come into North Carolina, more than 99% of the people who are getting sick and dying now are unvaccinated.
We are making progress, but we can't let our guard down. In Cabarrus County, we're starting to see that slight uptick in cases, and the emergence of new strains such as the Delta variant are what highlight how important it is that we all get out and get our vaccines so these variants can't take hold in our communities and cause more infections. We are here for anyone who is ready to become vaccinated.
If you have questions or would like more information about the vaccine, you can call the CHA Health Information Line at 704-920-1213. Well, if you happen to travel along Old Charlotte Road in Concord recently, you may have seen some activity around the abandoned structures at the Stonewall Jackson Training School site. Cabarrus County is collaborating with state officials to seek out new opportunities to use and preserve the historic location. Deputy County Manager Jonathan Marshall takes us to the facility and discusses potential plans for its future.
We're standing in front of the King's Daughter's Cottage, and maybe that's the best place to start with how the county ended up with this property and ended up on this project. This is all state-owned property. It's part of a training school for particularly young boys, and we're otherwise going to go to jail, but through some reform sent here. So it essentially is a reform school. It had been used over the years by the state. Even as they built new facilities, they continued to use some of these cottages. But then they eventually moved out of all of them, and the King's Daughter's Cottage is a great example of one that they moved out of and nature began to take over. So we've actually cleared this building of some trees growing around it, but you can already start to see vines growing back up around it. The state had realized that this is all surplus property for them. They had no plans of anything to do with it. So they did a legislative study commission. They looked at the surplus property and they determined for both this historic portion of it as well as some other properties they own around here that perhaps the best thing to do was to look at partnering with the county and eventually with a private group to redevelop this. So the idea now is that this property, we've identified what area would be transferred of the historic buildings. We can't transfer all of them because some of them are still in with parts of state property that's being used. But the idea is we would take most of the historic district. The county will advertise for projects and look for a partner to restore and rehabilitate these properties. In order to do that, the property will transfer from the state to the county to a nonprofit, Preservation North Carolina, then to the developer, and there'll be restrictions and covenants on that to make sure it's developed historically correct. This bridge is one of the most prominent parts of the campus. It connects the campus proper of the training school to the chapel. It's a footbridge over Old Charlotte Road. The county had this cleared off also when we cleared around the cottages and the chapel, because we felt like this is an example and shows people that something is happening out here. We're going to be going out and soliciting proposals to redevelop this property and restore it. And we feel like by showing this off, people will see that. It's a tangible evidence that something is going on. Again, we talk about this being a good example just because even though it doesn't look like it's in a great state of preservation, it actually is more structurally intact because of the type of construction. State historic properties have been out here and they've been in and out of each one of these buildings and have a fairly good idea with each building what condition it's in and whether they think it can be restored. And it looks very far past being restored, but they believe this one can be. One of the options we've been looking at is UNC Charlotte has very graciously, through their College of Engineering, volunteered to help us detail some of the architecture out here. So we are looking at working with them both with some drone technology to assess roof conditions, but also they have some ways to map some of the architectural details using computer scanning systems, and that way you can get that done without ever actually having to touch this and get inside it.
Thanks, Jonathan. You can stay updated on the progress of the Jackson Training School project by visiting the address listed right about here. There you can find a variety of maps, historical information, and more, including the Historical Moments episode that tells the whole story about the site. Finally this week, Cabarrus County Sheriff Van Shaw has a special invitation to an awesome upcoming event. Take it away, Sheriff.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Shaw with the Cabarrus County Sheriff's Office, and I want to invite you to our National Night Out event. It's going to be on Tuesday, August the 3rd, from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Cabarrus Arena Midway. Just like our event last year, you'll be able to drive through in the comfort of your car. However, this year, with the relaxing of COVID restrictions, you're going to be able to park and get out if you choose to. This gives you an opportunity to interact with all different types of public service individuals, see the equipment we use every day, take part in some fun events like canine demonstrations, motorcycle demonstrations. There'll be law enforcement aircraft there as well. representatives from multiple fire departments and law enforcement agencies. We're really excited about this year because last year when we held the event during COVID, we were able to win a national award as the Rookie of the Year for National Night Out. So we're hoping to have another great turnout and look forward to seeing you at our National Night Out event on Tuesday, August the 3rd from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. I hope to see you there. Be safe.
Thanks, Sheriff. We hope to see all of you there. Well, that's our show for the week. Thanks to our guests and thank you for joining us. You can check out more stories and updates by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Cabarrus County, or by subscribing to our weekly newsletter. Just visit cabarruscounty.us and type newsletter into the search bar. Remember, you can catch all of our other programming on demand at youtube.com/Cabarrus County. Make sure you go there to like it and subscribe to get all of our updates. Thanks for watching Cabarrus this week. We'll see you next time.